In an attempt to come back to YouTube strong and be more consistent and have actual videos to upload, I decided to look at some of my old viewer suggestions. I used to ask you guys for a character, an outfit, and a pose, and I would put them all together in some sort of weird random concoction and draw that. Back in the day when I used to do drawing streams, I used to do this thing called the Wheel of Random, where I would take suggestions from different viewers and we'd put them together and just try to draw whatever it was that came out of it. So I wanted to do that, but more in a drawing video form so I can post it. So I decided to look back at some of my old... I mean, people gave me these suggestions. I don't even know when people gave me these suggestions. This is probably like months ago. So some of the people that gave me suggestions, they might not be around anymore. Not that they died or anything, but just that maybe they're not following me anymore. Hopefully they didn't die. I hope you're all doing well. But it's been a long time and I'm not very good at keeping in touch with everybody, so hopefully these people are still following me and hopefully they still see this. So the first suggestion comes from Ether101 and it says today at 3:24 p.m. and it definitely wasn't today. It was today, probably like a year ago, but he wants me to draw Joker from P5 in a summer outfit in a JoJo pose. Now I'm gonna be real with you guys. I have a confession to make. I've never actually played any of the Persona games, and I've only watched one episode of JoJo. The JoJo that he's referring to, I'm pretty sure, is in Mojo Jojo. It's actually JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if you don't know. It's an anime that's supposed to be really wacky and bizarre. But to be honest, I only watched the first episode, and not that it seemed boring, but it just felt very blah. Like, it didn't feel like there was really a lot going on. Maybe I just didn't give it enough of a shot, but like I've seen so many memes and so many references to JoJo stuff, and it always seems like really over the top and weird and bizarre. But then like after watching the first episode, I'm like, how does it go from this to this? Like, I've seen so many weird shit, like the Pillar Men and all that stuff. I'm like, how does it go from like this weird sort of like period piece to this stuff? Like, I don't know. Maybe I just need to give it more time. Apparently it gets to a point where it shifts and it gets really wild and it turns into the bizarre adventure. You know, right now I'm just watching JoJo's tame daily outings. But if I'm being honest, I used to be a really big anime fan. Like, I used to watch everything on Toonami, and like that used to be just like a daily ritual, was to watch that after school and like stay up at night and watch the midnight run stuff that I probably wasn't supposed to watch when I was younger, but I watched it anyway. And I used to just love anime, but lately I just haven't maybe it's just because I haven't found anything that I'm really interested in. I think the latest thing that I was watching was My Hero Academia, and I just couldn't quite get into it. Like, it was an interesting idea, I like the characters and everything, but I just couldn't quite connect with it, I guess. Maybe I'm just old, I'm just an old man now. I don't know, like the shonen stuff I just really can't get into that much anymore. Like, it all feels really like, it all just sort of melds together, and all these different animes just feel like the same thing after a while. So yeah, there just hasn't really been anything new or recent that I've been interested in. So if you'd like to suggest something for me, I'll give you my taste profile on anime. I basically like anything Studio Ghibli. I love Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai Champloo, Yu Yu Hakusho. But my all-time favorite, and this will probably never change because it's been my favorite forever, is Cowboy Bebop. I mean, I think it's like the perfect anime. It's so well written, the animation is really well done, the characters are super interesting, and it has a little bit more of like adult themes to it, which I think I really enjoy a lot more than like the more shonen kind of stuff. And what I loved most about it is I think it's just 25 episodes. It's like 25 or 27 episodes. It's not this crazy long drawn out thing, because like most anime that I've ever seen, it's always like 9,000 episodes, and most of the episodes are just filler. Like, I think there's an episode of Dragon Ball Z where they go to get their driver's license. Like, they just needed to fill time, and like there's just so much standing around and talking. So if you know like a good anime where there's not 90% talking and standing around, please let me know, because I would like to get back into anime, because I miss watching it, and I miss being a part of that culture. So yeah, let me know what your favorite anime is, and I'll check it out, and I'll tell you if I think it's shitty or not. In regards to Persona, I really don't know too much about the game. In fact, I actually know nothing about the game. All I really know is that I think it takes place around like a high school setting. It's like kind of like a shonen character-driven RPG. I could be dead wrong on this. I don't know. Just based on the screenshots and things that I've seen while looking up reference for this character. Like, I don't even know anything about this character Joker. I don't even know if he's a good guy or a bad guy. But from what I've seen, it's an RPG. That's all I really know. But I do know Atlas, Atlus makes some really cool games. I really like the Shin Megami Tensei. I'm probably saying that wrong, but Nocturne. Nocturne is a fantastic game. It's a really cool RPG. It's almost like Pokemon with demons. So if that doesn't get you interested, I don't know what will. But it's a really cool post-apocalyptic game where you team up with all these different demons and stuff, and you yourself actually fight. So it's almost like Pokemon, but you actually get to beat the shit out of Pikachu. And it has an incredible soundtrack. Like the soundtrack is so good. I still listen to the soundtrack even now, and I haven't played the game in years. But if you've never played it, now is actually a really good time, because I think they're making a remastered version that's releasing later in October. So if you ever wanted to check it out, check it out. I think it's coming out on like the PS4 and on the Switch. So we got Joker in a summer outfit in the JoJo pose. The pose was already picked out for me, so that made things a lot easier, so I don't have to really do much thought on that. But I Googled it. I looked up JoJo pose as if I thought that was some sort of like iconic thing. But there was like a couple different poses that I saw, and some of them are really weird. There's a lot of like strange art and like gestures and stuff in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I kind of wonder if it's the same guy who made Fist of the North Star, because the style reminds me exactly of that, because that was also kind of like a weird, kind of zany anime too. But this is the one that I saw most consistently. I think it's Jotaro? So one of the characters, the guy with like the chain and the hat. But this was the pose that I actually saw the most consistent, so this is the one that I ended up going with. As for the outfit, I just sort of Googled summery clothes, and this was something similar to this came up, so I just kind of copied this. This sort of like casual beach look. There was a couple like different ones. I could have put him in a sundress or something, but I thought that just, I don't know if that fit the character. Which, to be honest, I don't know anything about this Joker character, so I could be drawing like the Sephiroth of this game. Like, I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, but it kind of just makes it more funny, because maybe there's a part in the game where he takes a break from killing people and decides to work on his tan. I don't know. I realized that I do this whole thing and I never really talk about the actual drawing itself. So I added these little light cones that you can see, and they're just basically an indicator of where the light's coming from, just to remind me of where I should put the shadows and stuff. And since he's standing on sand, since sand is so bright and so like light in color, it actually reflects a lot of light. So I put a cone down the bottom too, to sort of remind me that some light is going to be reflected back up. So the light could be coming down from here, but the light also bounces up, so there's a little bit of light underneath them as well. And then, like the idiot I am, I realized that, I focus so much on the sketch, because the sketch is the most important part. You should really focus everything on the sketch, but there's some times where I don't really notice mistakes until I start to add the color. And I realized that this pose didn't quite make any sense, because his arm was in the shirt. Like, I didn't realize that, like, it almost looked like one arm was out of the sleeve and just kind of hanging inside the shirt. The hand that goes into his pocket, I didn't realize that I didn't draw that properly. So I kept trying over and over again to try and get the right look. I didn't know how it was supposed to look, because it just looked stupid with his hand just kind of like, why is this arm not in the shirt? Or this arm, why is this arm not in the shirt? So, or not in the sleeve. So I actually had to put on a shirt like this and like mimic myself in the mirror in this pose to try and figure out like what the hell it would look like to have his hand like in the shirt but like going under into the pocket. So I finally did it, but it was a pain in the ass. I go an extra mile to get these poses correct. I deserve some credit for that. And lastly, I took a noise brush and sort of brushed it over the sand to sort of give it sort of that grainy texture. Because sometimes with digital art, a lot of stuff looks really smooth, it looks really clean. So I try to brush over some of the stuff with like a noise brush or just any sort of like texture brush. I've been trying to get a little bit more into using texture brushes because it adds a little bit more depth to it, and it doesn't make it look as smooth, especially with skin. Like skin sometimes looks just really blah, like when you shade it. So if you add like a little bit of texture to it, it actually looks really nice. So here we have the finished product. We have Joker from Persona 5 in his JoJo pose, wearing his casual summer wear at the beach. I'm sure, even though knowing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, this probably isn't even that weird. But yeah, there it is. There's my first viewer suggestion from my vault of old viewer suggestions that eventually I'll get to all of them at some point before the apocalypse comes. Who knows? It might be coming soon. So hopefully now you guys see what I mean by giving me suggestions. You can give me suggestions for fusions or crossovers or just characters in general. Maybe you want to see Bowser wearing a sundress. I don't know. Let me know in the comments and I'll try to give it a shot. I like the challenge. I think it gives me a little bit more practice and like challenges me to draw stuff that I wouldn't normally draw, because I wouldn't normally draw a man standing on the beach. But there's a lot you can learn from trying new things and trying to draw new things. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know, and I will get to them eventually. I do try to get to them. It's all about staying focused and staying motivated. So if you guys like this video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to turn on that notification bell so that you actually get notifications when I post stuff. And don't forget to check out my streams every so often. I don't really have like a good streaming schedule right now, but every so often I stream, so turn on the notifications and you'll maybe catch one. It's like a very rare, it's like catching lightning in a bottle to see me stream. I hope you all have a good day, and I'll see you next time.